Man, last night, today is September 19, 2020, and it's 2:48 a.m. And last night, before I went to bed, I didn't even think I get any sleep. I was so devastated with the news of Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. I just couldn't get it. Wow. I'm just devastated because she had fought to the end. She was fighting two fights. One, her illness, another for the country. And she did it to the end. And she had given us enough time to wait until the election. And I won't be surprised if McConnell tried to change his nonsense that he put during Barack Obama's presidency and try to put someone on the bench. And I think anyone who is put on the bench to replace her, if the Republican does that, they need to be removed. They need to be removed. This is really, really a very hard blow. But she did her best. I cannot stress this. She did her best for the country and for herself at the same time. So let me read a little bit of her background. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. I guess they didn't update this. They did not update this. This should have been Ruth Bader Ginsburg was an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. She was, okay, they didn't change it here, but they changed it. Okay. She was nominated by President Bill Clinton on June 14, 1993, and has served since August 10, 1993, until yesterday, September 18, 2020. Okay, she was born March 15, 1933, Brooklyn, New York. They did update it, but how come did they change that part? And here they said die September 18, 2020, Washington, D.C. Spouse, Martin D. Ginsburg, 1954 to 2010. I guess that's when he died. I didn't know that. Wow. She had fought a lot for women's rights and all of this. She was one in my lifetime. At least in my lifetime, I think she was one of the best. So these are other, places or, I can't even talk, who mentioned her. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died at 87. CNN spoke about it, The Guardian. Okay, so these are some tweets. Okay, let's see. The short one I'll read. President Obama. Okay, let me read these three. Hillary Clinton, Justice Ginsburg paved the way for so many women, including me. There will never be another like her. Definitely. Thank you. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ginsburg. Oh, I keep on saying Ginsburg. Ginsburg. Okay, Chuck Schumer. The American people should have a voice in the selection. That was my first thing I said. Right? Should have a choice, okay, in the selection of their next Supreme Court justice. Therefore, this vacancy should be filled until we have a new president. That is true. I believe this. So those Democrats better fight for this because McConnell did. McConnell did. We cannot let this idiot make a choice. He put two already on the bench. I think it's two, isn't it? The one that had to do with the sex thing, and the other one who had quit because of his son was doing some deal with the Russian and all this crap, and then that. I forgot their name because there's all. This is another perfect reason why we need women to be to be a voice, to vote, not only to vote, women to be in high position, because when they are in position, things seems to work in the right way. They follow the rule of law. Those guys who are in position, they just think of pretty much their pants, okay? All right, so not all of them, but majority of them, that's what they do once they get in a high position. It's whatever can please their pants, that's all. All right, so President Barack Obama was Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg fought to the end. That's exactly what I said. Through her cancer, with unwavering faith in our democracy and its idea. That is exactly what I was saying. She was fighting to fight for her cancer and for the country. That's how we remember her. But she also left instruction for how she wanted her legacy to be honored. My statement, okay, so let's see. I'll come back to President Obama, because when this guy speaks, he speaks like pretty much what everybody in the country is thinking. Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent lifetime flourish. You know what? Let me just finish with President Obama. I could come back here. Oh, that's what President Obama wrote. Wow, that is... She looks so tiny next to President Obama. She fought to the end. This is... wow, in my lifetime, this is a great picture. Oh my goodness. 2-minute read. Okay, so let's read. My statement on the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Okay, 60 years ago, Ruth Bader Ginsburg applied to be a Supreme Court clerk. She studied at two of our finest law schools and had ringing recommendation. But because she was a woman, she was rejected. Wow. See, there's her history right there. I wasn't planning on going to that, but when President Obama speaks, my goodness. 10 years later, she sent her first brief to the Supreme Court, which led it to strike down a state law based on gender discrimination for the first time. And then, for nearly 3 decades, as the second woman ever to sit on the highest court in the land, she was a warrior for gender equality, someone who believed that equal justice under the law only had meaning if it applies to every single American. She experienced it, and she fought for it. Over a long career on both sides of the bench, as a relentless litigator and decisive jurist, Justice Ginsburg helped us see that discrimination on the basis of sex isn't about an abstract idea of equality. That it doesn't only harm women, that it had real consequences for all of us. It's about who we are and who we can be. Justice Ginsburg inspired the generation who follow her, from the tiniest tricks or treaters to law students burning the midnight oil for the most powerful leaders in the land. Michelle and I admire her greatly. We're profoundly thankful for the legacy she left this country, and we offer our gratitude and our condolences to her children and grandchildren tonight. Ruth Bader Ginsburg fought to the end. That's exactly what I said. Through her cancer and unwavering faith in our democracy and its idea. That's how we remember her. But she also left instruction for how she wanted her legacy to be honored. 4.5 years ago, when Republicans refused to hold a hearing or uphold or downvote on Merrick Garland, they invented the principle that the senator shouldn't fill an open seat on the Supreme Court before a new president was sworn in. There it is. Wow, they highlight this. A basic principle of the law and of everyday fairness is that we apply rules with consistency and not based on what convenient or advantageous in the moment. The rule of law, the legitimacy of our courts, the fundamental working of our democracy all depend on that basic principle. As votes are already being cast in this election, Republican senators are now called to apply that standard. The question before the court now in the coming years, with decisions that will determine whether or not our economy is fair, our society is just, women are treated equally, our planet survives, and our democracy endures, are too consequential to future generations for courts to be filled through anything less than an impeachable process. This last part, just one of the things that I had said at the beginning was that anybody that the Republican fill the position, I think we should vote them out. Damn, this guy talked beyond. This pretty much just eliminate what I just said. I mean, I still believe what I said, but him stating that just cross out whatever I had said. So pretty much because the Supreme Court has a lifetime term, they pretty much have, once they are selected to be in that position as the Supreme Court, it's through their lifetime. There it is. This is one of the perfect example of that, because she died while she was still at her position. But they cannot be impeached. That's what he means, which is true. This is the law. So me saying that anybody the Republican put on the bench right now, after the election, they should be removed. So that's why he said that. Oh my goodness. Our democracy is hanging on a string. On a string. Let me see. One of the things I saw earlier. What's oyez.org? They're speaking about it. Okay. Okay, I think I should stop. Nobody can speak better than. Oh, you know what? Let me read it. I don't know who the Supreme Court resources. Oh, so that, okay, let me see. Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent a lifetime flourish in the face adversity before. If they mention anything similar to President Obama, I'm just gonna stop. And I'll put the link. You guys could check it. Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent a lifetime flourishing in the face of adversity before being appointed a Supreme Court justice, where she successfully fought against gender discrimination and unified the liberal bloc of the court. She was born John Ruth Bader on March 15, 1933, Brooklyn, New York. Her father was a furrier in the height of Great Depression, and her mother worked in a garment factory. Ginsburg's mother instilled a love of education in Ginsburg through her dedication to her brother, foregoing her own education to finance her brother's college expenses. Her mother heavily influenced her early life and watched Ginsburg excel at James Madison High School, but was diagnosed with cancer and died the day before Ginsburg High School graduation. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Ginsburg's success in academia continued throughout her years at Cornell University, where she graduated at the top of her class in 1954. Damn. The same year, Ruth Bader became Ruth Bader Ginsburg after marrying her husband Martin, who was a first-year law student at Cornell when they met. After graduation, she put her education on hold to start a family. She had her first child in 1955, shortly after her husband was drafted for 2 years of military service. Upon her husband returned from his service, Ginsburg enrolled at Harvard Law. Damn, I didn't know that, so that means I shall continue. Ginsburg's personal struggles neither decreased and intensified nor deter her in any way from reaching or exceeding her academic goal. Even when her husband was diagnosed with testicular cancer in 1956, during her first year at law school, Ginsburg took on the challenge of keeping her sick husband up to date with his studies while maintaining her own position at the top of the class. At Harvard, Ginsburg tackled the challenges of motherhood and of a male-dominated school, where she was one of 9 female in a 500-person class. God damn. She faced gender-based discrimination from even the highest authorities there, who castigized her for taking a man's spot at Harvard Law. Damn. She served as the first female member of the Harvard Law Review, Her husband recovered from cancer, graduated from Harvard, and moved to New York City to accept a position at a law firm there. Ruth Bader Ginsburg had one more year of law school left, so she transferred to Columbia Law School and served on their law review as well. She graduated first in her class at Columbia Law in 1959. Damn! Even her exceptional academic record was not enough to shield her from the gender-based discrimination women faced in the workplace in 1960. She had difficulty finding a job until a favorite Columbia professor explicitly refused to recommend any other graduate before U.S. District Judge Edmund L. Palmieri hired Ginsburg as a clerk. Ginsburg clerked under Judge Palmieri for 2 years. After this, she was offered some jobs at law firms, but always at a much lower salary than her male counterparts. Wow. She instead took some time to pursue her other legal passion, civil procedure, choosing to join the Columbia Project on International Civil Procedure. This project fully immersed her in Swedish culture. Wow. Glad I read this, where she lived abroad to do research for her book on Swedish civil procedure practices. Upon her return to the States, she accepted a job as a professor at Rutgers University Law School in 1963, a position she held until accepting an offer to teach at Columbia in 1972. There, she became the first female professor at Columbia to earn tenure. Ginsburg also directed the influential Women's Rights Project of the American Civil Liberties Union during the 1970s. In this position, she held the fight against gender discrimination and successfully argued 6 landmark cases before the U.S. Supreme Court. Damn, I did not know all of this. Ginsburg took a broad look at gender discrimination, fighting not just for the women left behind, but for the women who were discriminated against as well. Ginsburg experienced her share of gender discrimination, even going so far as to hide her pregnancy from her Rutgers colleagues. Wow. Ginsburg accepted Jimmy Carter's appointment to the U.S. Court of Appeal for the District of Columbia in 1980. She served on the court for 13 years until 1993, when Bill Clinton appointed her to the Supreme Court of the United States. Ruth Bader Ginsburg began her career as justice, where she left off as an advocate fighting for women's rights. In 1996, Ginsburg wrote the majority opinion in the United States versus Virginia, holding that qualified women could not be denied admission to Virginia Military Institute. Her style in advocating from the bench matches her style from her time at ACLU, slow but steady and calculated. Instead of creating sweeping limitation on gender discrimination, she attacks specific areas of discrimination and violation of women's rights one at a time, so as to send a message to the legislature on what they can and cannot do. Her attitude is that major social change should not come from the courts, but from Congress and other legislature. This is very important here, especially what we are dealing right now. This method allows for social change to remain on Congress power while also receiving guidance from the court. Ginsburg does not shy away from giving pointed guidance when she feels she needs. She dissents and led Better versus Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, where the plaintiff, a female worker being paid significantly less than male with her same qualification, sued under Title VII but was denied relief under a statute of limitation issue. So she did not cast her vote on this. Just because she went through it, she didn't want to overpower her experience with the rule of law. Wow. I didn't know this. The fact of this case makes her passion, there it is, makes her passion of federal procedure and gender discrimination. She broke with tradition and wrote a highly colloquial version of her dissent to read from the bench. She also called for Congress to undo this improper interpretation of the law and her dissent. And then work with President Obama to pass the very first piece of legislation he signed, the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act in 2009, that I remember. But the part where she did not cast her vote for it, I didn't know that. A copy of which hangs proudly in her office. Wow! Can you imagine that? She dissent her vote on one particular issue, but she worked with President Obama for a greater part, a broader part that will serve the entire country. Can you imagine that? Wow. While many people speculate as to when the justice will retire, there it is, and the assumption of fairly will be utterly misplaced, Ginsburg works with a personal trainer in the Supreme Court's exercise room, and notably can lift more than both Justice Breyer and Kagan. Until the 2018 term, Ginsburg had not missed a day of oral arguments, not even when she was undergoing chemotherapy for pancreatic cancer. I remember all that. After surgery for colon cancer, wow. On the day after her husband passed away in 2010, Justice Ginsburg has proven time again that she is a force to be reckoned with, and those who doubt her capacity to effectively complete her judicial duties need only to look at her record and oral arguments, where she is still among the most avid questioners on the bench. She asked questions. You have to ask questions on a position like that, unlike somebody. Jeez. The only black one on the position never asked a damn question. And his vote is, okay. She definitely will be missed. Really missed. So I'm going to stop right now because I am so sad by her loss. The country just lost one of the greatest Supreme Court Justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Rest in peace. And thanks for your service.